Last week we settled the verdict. When God's opinion matters most, every other opinion loses power. Not the voices of other people, not your own self-assessment, not even that inner courtroom that keeps replaying the old evidence. Only one court matters. Only God's verdict matters. And if you're a new follower of Christ, or if you've been following Christ all your life, the verdict is already in. You're loved, forgiven, accepted, and you're His. But here's the tension we live with. Knowing the truth and actually living in that freedom is not the same. Because even after the verdict is settled, we still wake up asking different questions. Am I doing enough? Am I making progress? Am I fulfilling or am I failing? What does success even looks like anymore? Last week's was the verdict. Today, Kim and Amanda will discuss the metric.
Hello.
Hello. Good morning.
How's it going?
It's going pretty...
It's cold.
It is cold. It's a cold day.
Yeah.
But I like it. Cold and sunny.
It's one of those tricky days where
It
it
is.
looks warmer than it is.
There was quite a little pileup on I-5 this morning.
I heard.
Due to fog,
Ay, ay, ay.
I guess.
Yeah.
Well,
20
fog and debris on the road.
What, 20 car? Right?
Really?
Yeah.
Golly.
It's a lot.
Dang.
I wonder what the verdict is on that.
Somebody did not secure their load, is my guess. And then, boopity, boopity, boop.
Bop, bop.
I like the soundtrack that goes
Yeah.
with it.
That was free, by the way. You're not going to find that anyplace else. I did want to recognize that today is MLK Jr.
Yes.
Day.
Yes.
He gave his speech
On what day?
August 28th, 1963.
That coincides with what?
My birthday.
Just asking.
Love that.
63 years ago. I'm not suggesting that's my age. I'm just saying it was 63 years ago that he gave that speech. And I just wanted to touch on a small portion. Well, I'm not even quoting his speech. I'm just highlighting some of the things that he spoke of. The urgency for justice now, brotherhood, and the transformative power of hope and love over hatred, emphasizing unity and pursuing the American promise of equality. And I just thought it would be interesting for all you folks in listening land to ponder how we're doing at that. Because that was a call to action, and I'm not sure we booked it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to tell you what to think. It's just kind of what I think.
Yeah.
Now to Sunday's sermon.
Now to Sunday's sermon.
Freed from my fragile ego.
My fragile ego.
So, ladies, what do you think about that sermon topic?
Well, I think that this sermon series started last week, this week, more to come. Whenever Steve is preaching on things that make us really be reflective about our own state of being, I write a lot, but I have 10 questions this week about navigating not just this topic, but kind of carry over into last, because this conjures up the, am I enough? Am I doing enough? Is somebody else the comparison things that go on, and how am I supposed to manage what I'm doing when I see somebody else doing different, more, better?
Yeah.
What is that supposed to make me feel like, and I think that Steve touched on a lot of things, but the comparison pitfalls, they're pride and shame. I mean,
Yes.
when you're comparing, you're kind of doing one or the other, instead of just focusing on being faithful to God.
I feel like the invitation is simple, right? It's like, be faithful with what God is giving you, trust Him, and like live in the assurances that you are fully loved by Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And yet, in our humanness, we're like, no,
Yeah.
I think, instead of just trusting in Him. And I think back to so many times in my life when I was like, Lord, this is what I want more than anything. And I'm so grateful now that those prayers weren't answered, right? Because what
in the way you wanted them to
because
be. Yeah.
what He has given me and the way He has led me is far greater than what I wanted in that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like a parent or any caregiver, really, you see the overarching big picture, right? You can see all the little pieces and what that overview looks like more than the child or the person you're caring for.
Yeah.
And so we really have it so good.
Right.
And like to just mess it up. And, I mean, the comparison game is strong I think it's always been strong, but then you add in social media and the internet and it just grew 100 times more overnight. But the thing that you have to remind yourself is on social media, especially, is like you're comparing yourself to somebody else's highlight reel all the
Right.
time, because
everybody's-
nobody's ever like, my life is terrible and it sucks. They're
Right.
like, this is
They're
my
living
life
their
and it's
best
perfect and the
life
best.
ever.
Yes.
And that to me just seems so needful when I see these people. I feel sorry for them on a lot of levels, but because it's just sometimes really blatantly obvious that they're just really not in a great place. I think
And that's
the more
not
they
sustainable.
yeah,
No.
right.
There's nothing new under the sun, as we always hear come across. The same thing was that comparison thing was Paul, Apollos, and I like how Paul just nipped it in the bud, Hey, Apollo's doing his thing, I'm doing my thing, and God's going to bring the increase,
Yes.
Yeah. And success, it's not being impressive or flawless or the best or the first or the most. It's about being faithful. And the outcome of that faithfulness is that God's got you. I mean, he already has got you anyway, but He manages the outcome. He's in charge of that. Your goal is to be faithful, and it's it's similar. I mean, we read this in the Bible where you don't know if you're the seed planter, the water, and it's just, you just don't know. You just need to be faithful in what God's asking you to do, because not everybody, as we know, is gifted in the same way, has received the same gifts, because Steve made a point several times to say there's nothing that you have that you didn't receive.
Exactly.
You didn't create anything that you have.
And everything is a gift.
Everything's a gift. And so I can't begrudge your gift or your gift, because I've got my own that you don't
Exactly.
have. And that's
Yeah.
just the way we were wonderfully made. So we're not all the same. And we can then look to each other, lean on each other for supporting those things, but not comparing those things. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm glad that I don't know how to do certain things, and I'm glad that I do know how to do certain things. And it's not a comparison thing. It's just it is a place of gratefulness, because
How far along you think we would be if we would tap into everyone's gift. Because I know I tap into yours a lot. You know what I'm saying? But not in a using format, but more or less, hey, you know what, Kim, you have a exceptional eye, right? To me, I would be foolish not to, hey, Kim, let me get your take on this. One of our best stage designs, boom. I say, hey, I got the idea, but I need your eye.
Yeah.
And, you know, you just got that gift for that, amongst other things. You have multiple gifts, right? So I'm not jealous of them. I love them. And I'm like, hey, how can I get you to do this for me, for us? You know what I'm saying?
Because wouldn't it be something if we all, you know, tapped into each other's gifts instead of saw them in the lens of envy or shame or pride by comparison?
I think we forget that we're co-workers with God in this mission, and the things that we let get in our way are the pride, the envy, the shame, and it just derails us off mission so quickly. And it takes us away from our purpose and the gifts that we do have, and appreciating that. I think it's important to take captive your thoughts and align it with the truth. Like, where are you letting your thoughts take you? What is the purpose of your thoughts? Because it's real easy to think something and then believe it and go down a huge rabbit trail.
Yes,
before you know it, you're like, how the heck did I end up over here? I need to get back into the truth.
Yeah.
And I think there's something to be said for being content with what you have, where you're at, the season of life that you're in, and just trusting where God has you.
I think that contentment piece is really important, because I think when you're younger, maybe even a younger Christian, but certainly when you're younger, like when Steve and I were first married, we really wanted to get into a house, and we were not in our dream home when we bought the house that we actually still live in 40 odd years later. But we were content with it because we prayed for that. We would love to be homeowners, and we were gifted with this home. And I think that though there's that, you know, people around us are buying new homes and getting new furniture, and we had hand-me-downs, but we were so grateful to be in a home.
Yeah.
It was gnarly. Wasn't pretty. She wasn't pretty back then.
Yeah.
But, you know, that was our home, and we really loved it. And I think that is tricky, though. That is probably one of the biggest things, is especially on a big purchase. You see somebody with a new car or a new house or a new anything, and you're still using the same old. But, you know, we're kind of simple folk, and if it's not broke, why would you fix it, kind of a thing. But I think that doesn't come without some struggle before that.
For sure.
Kim, as you was talking about that, I'm reminded of this. A person had this house. Now, their house was paid off, older style house. They was getting a little envious of their neighbor, just moved in the neighborhood, bought this nice, beautiful home, right? Was envious of them, you know, until she got to know them, realizing that they were stretched financially. They was constantly fighting. So this picture perfect white picket fence house, you know, I'm living an American dream, was just that, a dream, where she had peace in her house, husband faithful, bills paid for, but she wasn't content.
Yeah.
You know,
that's really
I saw
said,
this video that was talking about a Hebrew word. It's pronounced, let me see if I don't butcher it.
Please do.
Dayenu. In Hebrew, that means it would have been enough for us. And it's best known from the Passover song Dayenu. And in the song, each verse lists something that God did for the Israelites, like bringing them out of Egypt, splitting the Red Sea, giving them the Torah. And after each one, the chorus is Dayenu, which means that every single act alone would have been sufficient,
Yep.
but many blessings followed. So I think we should practice Dayenu, or living in gratitude and being grateful for what we've already been given. And then the recognition that like what we have is enough.
Yep.
Even if nothing else comes, what we have is enough.
Wouldn't it be a curious exercise to
Uh-oh.
just brainstorming here, just get a piece of paper out and start listing things you're grateful for
Yeah.
versus things you're, I don't know, wishing you had or
Yeah.
that feel you're lacking. I think it's just a good exercise. I think y'all should try that and report back.
Yeah.
I wonder if one part of the list is bigger, because when you really sit and think about what you've been gifted with, received from God, is it all the things you prayed for?
Yeah.
Maybe not what you prayed for, but
Yeah.
God wanted to give you, wanted you to have, wanted you to understand and receive and use, which also speaks to stewardship, right? And I think when we again squander, I think I talked about that last week. I think if you're in the mindset of, I haven't gotten anything from God, He doesn't do anything for me, where's my blessing? You've been ignoring everything that surrounds you.
And I would say probably too, most likely, like what you have, what you've been gifted, what you're holding on to, you're using far below its potential
Yeah.
to begin with.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and it's how do you measure success? What does that look like?
Yeah.
What is and why do you feel you're not measuring up, or you're not, this is just so full of, if anything Steve has spoken about lately, if this doesn't make you kind of sit in a dark room for a minute and really think about where you are in this walk, you need to sit there a little bit longer and think about it a little bit more, because this is a lot of...
Devandis and I spoke last week about how it's so easy to get sucked into the worldly things, right? And that includes like the worldly measurements, the worldly voices, all the influences that you're allowing in your life, which pulls you away from your godly purpose, and it lets these voices creep into your mind. And before you know it, you're not measuring your blessings and your faithfulness and your obedience. You're like, I need to be successful. I need the bigger house. I need the better job. And you've just fully stepped away from everything that God has called you to do.
Well, you get that "what about me" attitude. It's
Yeah.
kind of like, well, what about you? I mean,
Hey, ladies.
Yeah.
You know, where was, I forgot it, where is that in scripture? But it says the three, they bear witness, the water, the blood, and it'll come back to me. But anyway, right? You touched the definition of success. Amanda just hit definition of success, and in my notes,
yeah.
am I doing as much as them? Instead of saying that, am I being faithful to what God asked me to do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Instead of asking, why didn't God give me what He gave them?
Yeah.
Am I grateful for what I've received
Yep.
from God?
Right. That's funny.
I love how the three of us, boop, 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 boop,
Yeah.
bing.
Yep. Well,
yeah. And I feel like the older I get too, the less I want to carry burdens that aren't mine.
well, age
I
will
mean,
do
really.
a thing to you. I think it brings so much clarity. I mean, you just have more in your rearview mirror at some point, and
Yeah.
and I think that brings a lot of clarity, because I don't want to just throw people under the bus that are
No.
striving for a thing. I think it's good to have a goal, and as long as you don't repurpose it for your own well-being, you know, I think God wants us to make choices, and he gives us choices, and he does want us to be successful, but we need to do it in a correct way. We need to come correct with that and understand why we're being given those choices. Who's letting us do that? Nothing's happenstance. There isn't fate. It's not the stars aligned. It's none of that. It's faithfulness to God and understanding what he's done for us and what he gives to us.
Yeah.
All right, Kim. I know you say you had a lot of questions.
I have a lot of questions. See all the questions?
Questions,
I'll just choose one.
statements, comment. Or two.
Or two. Well, kind of already went over most of these. How do you feel when you're not real with others? And I don't feel like I really need to explain that because we've already touched on that. You know, if you're living a life that isn't true and you know it's not true. And how do you, what if you start asking if you're being faithful with what God has given you instead of, am I doing better than fill in the blank? I mean, most of these are just all introspective, chew on it kind of stuff, and then make a decision to follow God and be faithful to him. That's all he wants. He just wants us to be faithful to him because he's got a plan for us, and we need to stop monkeying that up.
Yeah.
Amen.
Amen.
All right, guys. Remember this. When God's opinion matters most, every other opinion loses power. And God measures faithfulness. And God, you see our podcast on the corner of North Road and Filbert. Till then, good people, God bless you. See ya.